Why is it more acceptable to mock and hate people who are uneducated or misinformed rather than helping them? I try to be as charitable as possible, meanwhile they may likely not change their minds, and for some that's frustrating. I would check Hasanabi on Twitch, or YouTube, as he does his best to educate people and show a left-wing perspective and analysis of the news, all the while helping people who might be like you. There's also some other left-wing creators who do a good job educating people. I don't call everyday people these words because it's possible that it's some factor I'd about, but people who are clearly happy to spew hateful speech that I have a problem with them. A couple of things. Most people want the simplest solution you can give them. Maybe it is being lazy or maybe efficient. You make the call on that. This is on both sides. The sheer numbers of uneducated and misinformed is enough to make most people throw up their hands and move on. On the other hand, the undereducated and misinformed get to use the shortcut of listening to an expert so they don't have to try to process the information on their own. I am all about they won't care what you say until they see you care. If you put up with the crap and help them through their impossible situation with compassion, they are much more willing to hear you. I understand where they come from, at least from an analytical perspective. Nonetheless, it is generally a waste of my time to try and save someone else from their own belligerent ignorance. Most of these people don't want help and are perfectly content to live in their fantasy world. Personally, I don't respect their resistance to change and lack of educational desire. As for the stereotypes, they are BS. Stupidity is not bound by any class, race, or nationality. Those who are truly trying to learn deserve to be helped. Those who are confidently and belligerently wrong can only help themselves. Does anybody else not save all of their birthday cards? Not one. Topical https://www. TikTok.com/t/ztruemss/. They have a 24 hours expiration date. Not anymore. I save them all. I don't really wanna, but I'd feel bad tossing them. I save important ones with special meaning/messages. And always from my spouse. I put them in my hope chest and I'm happy about the ones I have to look back on. Especially from my childhood, since my mom passed away when I was in college. I save a select few, but 95% of them I don't keep. When I was younger, my family used to save old Christmas cards, and then the next year we would cut the pictures out or a certain part of the card and use it for gift tags. My mom keeps all of the cards people sent her. Birthdays, Christmas, etc. She never looks at them once they're put away, so I'd why she keeps them. I keep super sentimental ones. But the rest wind up getting lost or discarded. Like my best friend since childhood would always send me ones with a hand-picked Bible verse and a little short comedy bit surrounding it. Those I always keep because they're funny and he took time to come up with and write all that. They find themselves getting emotional on internet comments. Get halfway through a reply and then suddenly realize that none of it matters? I wouldn't use the word emotional. But I've typed out replies thinking I would be helping to educate someone. Only to delete it because I realized from their original comment that they would rather pull blinkers over their eyes and continue to be a fucking idiot. Not lately. But when I was first participating in forums. Like around 1998 or so. I was amazed at the intensity of emotion I'd feel in as a result of responses made by people I'd never met and will likely never meet. Now I tend to recognize some of the responses that could get me going are trolls and some are unhinged people. Once in a while somebody rightfully points out that I've been insensitive or incorrect. When I've been wrong I take the correction, but I'm not going to go into endless debate or grovel either. Some posts I already feel my response starting to compose itself, but sometimes realize that the topic or what I have to say isn't that important and just let it go. Yes. Quite often. I begin to explain why rude and mean-spirited comments are just wrong. But almost always abandon my attempts to explain why it's wrong. Not because it doesn't matter, it does matter. But because I believe it will fall on deaf ears, and I also don't want to argue with people who simply don't care. Part of me thinks I should at least plant the seeds of positivity, the other part thinks it's not worth the effort. Yep. You'll find the dumbest people on the internet, and halfway through a response you'll just realize that the majority of their tiny brains are dedicated to blocking out 90% of my response anyway. So what's the point? Some people can't comprehend having their views challenged. And simply wish to be validated. It's a cancer in society. But one that won't change. I pray to God daily that these people win the Darwin Award before they reproduce. Why do I have normal and apparently innocent dreams with realistic and daily scenarios of my real life that make me feel so anxious? Especially when I wake up I'll feel so anxious ABT it and it feels like a nightmare. I'll thought nothing bad happened in the dream. Does it happen to y'all? How do you know your real life is not part of the dream? Sounds like you might be waking from an apnea. If that's the case, your brain is being deprived of oxygen while in REM sleep, when we do the bulk of our dreaming. Then, you wake up suddenly, in fight or flight mode, due to the oxygen deprivation. I would contact a doctor and get a sleep study. If it's not an apnea, narcolepsy and a few other disorders are associated with odd emotions and dreams. Source: I work in sleep medicine. You have different sleep phases. REM sleep, deep sleep, etc. The human mind is amazing. Deep sleep will heal your body, muscles, injuries, infections, etc., while REM is the sleep phases where you dream. REM heals your mind and soul. It heals emotional and mental part of you. I have the same thing. I find that these might be some of the factors. Hunger, Social isolation. Inefficient showering. Like a solid shower. Go to a park with friends aka people I trust and find dear. Have a pizza and burger. Bonus if beer is involved, and I'm like brand new. Of course this doesn't always work. But many times it's surprisingly effective. But yeah. Most the time I feel exactly how you described, and I'm glad I'm not the only one. I actually feel like absolute shit as I write this. Lonely. Extremely hungry, can't sleep. Sleep deprived. Somewhat depressed. And anxiety hits me in waves as big as tsunamis. No panic attack at this specific moment though.